Hello and welcome to take 2 of the 21st of November's challenge. Yesterday I got happy with making a lot of these. Sadly the video was corrupted so I couldn't share it, so I'm going to redo some more of these and take you along. Hopefully this video doesn't do the same. Apologies to everyone who was waiting for the video to upload yesterday and it didn't. I was very disappointed myself, but anyway, otherwise I can make use of loads of these. So there's lots of different ways you can do these. This is just the the paper one. I think we are going to be doing some fabric ones later on, but for these I've used a variety of different tools. I've got some circle punches, I've got this 1, 2, 3 punch board, I've also got the tab punch. There are a couple of other punches around. I really would love to find myself a whale tail punch, but they're very hard to come by, and when you do come by them, they're really super expensive. So I'm trying to make do with doing some other things. So what I've got, I'm just gonna push these up to the top. I have here a selection of some random scrappy pieces of paper that I've got, and I will show you how I make tabs out of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tab punch. So I'm going to fold these in half. You don't have to actually fold them in half. You can do it flat, and you get more to it if you do it flat. But if you do it flat, you don't get them connected like this. They become like separate pieces, this from this. And that's fine, you can just glue them together, but I just think it's easier from the perspective of my use to do it that way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up so you can see. So I want the fold to be visible through here, so get myself in. Right, so now we're in. I'm trying to make the most of it, so I'll get the most. So you can see here at the moment I'm a little bit not quite up to the edge, but I don't want to go too far past that because I don't want to waste my paper. And then I've got just a little gap at the top here. Not very much, but just enough that when I do cut it in a second, you will see that this is you'll see that you're able to get the fold out of it. So I don't know if you can see the little gap just along here. So I'm just going to punch this one out. So there you go, I've got one double over piece like that. And then I will scooch this along. Now you can, if you want to be really clever, in order to make these smaller ones, using the tab punch, you can cut it so like this. So you're cutting it the same, just with the piece like so. And then if you take this little piece and bring it in from the side that you've not already got the right piece from, it's a bit fiddly. But if you bring it in and line it up, so I've lined it up along the top where it's got the gap. You see the gap? And then I've just popped it in there so that when I come to it, I end up with a shorter stub, which I like because actually sometimes I think these can be too big for pages. So I like having the shorter ones. The only thing is you do have to then fish out carefully. I use a ruler to get the little bit out. So that is those ones. And these are really easy to kind of power through, so you just plop it through. You want to make sure that your fold is always at the top. So I'll just show you this. Make them different lengths. go. Just okay, and then so I'll repeat this. So where I've got this kind of funny shape now, I'm going to pop it back through here, so I've got the right edge, this kind of edge in as far as it will go. You want to make sure you don't want to, you want to keep it so you've got a gap at the top still, otherwise you'll end up with two pieces. Punch it, chuck the piece of paper away which was the other end. I will pick that off of the floor in a minute. Just bring you in. It's a little bit fiddly doing this, but I think it's worth it. There we go. Pull out the strap. And then the last one I've got here off of this strip. Bring you all the way here. There we go. And bring it out. Get my little sticky bits. So that's how I've done these. Now what you can do with these is you can round the corners if you've got a little corner. So I've got a teeny tiny one here. So if you fold it in half, it's a bit tricky. I might just do it with the one side. Line it up. You end up with all rounded corners. Like so. This is, you have to, well, you don't have to, you could use an ordinary size corner rounder, but this is like a mini one, so it does, if you use the slightly bigger ones, you're going to end up with losing kind of the definition. So you can do that to them as well. Okay, so let's move those ones to the side. That's also one of those. This up here. Now I'm going to show you how to do the 1, 2, 3 punch board. Now I always end up doing the first one wrong, or not wrong, but slightly different. So I've got the 1, 2, 3 punch board. I think I have to do it this way. Okay. Today I'm burning calamansi. I'm probably slaughtering that word totally. Cocktail. Oh, hi Kit. Hi. Hi. What? This is my other kitty cat. You met Bella yesterday. This is Kit. He's a big fluffy ball. He's interested. Oh, hi. Oh. Go on, good boy. Okay. So I'm folding this in half again along this edge. I'm sure there are easier ways of folding things than I do. I just tend to make a mess of them when I fold things like this. Right, so we've got this. Now, the way I do it is I will punch along. So I'm going to start off with bringing this, so it's matching this up to the bow guideline here, and punch. So you get this edge. Now, how wide you want them. So these are different, done on different widths. So I've got quite a wide one there, whereas I've got quite a narrow one here. Another narrow one here. A teeny tiny one here. So what I will do is I'll match them up. So I'm going to start off with doing a little teeny tiny one. Obviously it's not too small, but I'm kind of lining the edge of this, come down to the butt of the centre piece. Punching that out, doing that. And I just go along and I create a whole load of them. Doesn't matter if they're the same size. Let's do a slightly, because I think this one's going to be too narrow otherwise. So I'm going to bring this right to the edge, again to the bow guide, and punch down. So you can see I've got a series of cutouts, and at the moment it kind of looks like this when I fold it. So I'm just going to move this to the side, put my scrappy bits away, and then I simply go along and I cut these in half. Well, not in half, but kind of halfway between the peaks. Okay, so that has created this kind of flat edge. Now this one I've done on a narrower piece, so you can see if I line this up here, where I folded my card over, I've had an extra, what, half a centimetre on the double, which means that this is slightly deeper, but you don't need to make them deep. I'm just going by the width of what this cardstock is, or sorry, this paper already is. But I'll show you, I'll trim a bit off and I'll show you how to do this slightly narrower one in a second. What I have done with them is some of these I've cut, so where this kind of does the kind of flick up, I'm just going to show you, I trim this off so it comes pretty much to the down, so there is no kick up again. And then I've rounded the corners again, so using my corner rounder, lining it up. Now I am going to do this one individually because it's slightly skew. I'll show you what I mean afterwards. So I'm getting this into the centre, punch, into the centre, punch, into the centre, punch, into the centre, punch. Now you can neaten these up sometimes where there's like a little tab, so I'll just cut those off. Now what I meant was, the reason I had to do it individually is because this, where I've folded it not perfectly in half, and one side's slightly longer, it doesn't matter because when you put this over a page, you're not going to see that. So I've got those, so I've done that. You don't, of course, have to do that. You can just simply leave it as is. Can you see how this is slightly skew? So I'm just going to straighten that off. I personally like the corners rounded. I think it gives it a nicer finish. So I'm going to do it on some of them, but not on all of them. There are many ways you can do this. In fact, if you don't have punches like this, you can just simply cut them out yourself. So let's just do this. So fold it, match it up. Burnish it. Just should use my thing rather than my nail. So what you can do is you can simply just cut out. I think these look quite effective actually. So I'm just going to straighten this up. And all I'm going to do I'm really not getting this very straight today. Oh, clip, clip, clip. That's the only downside with having glass board, is every time you put anything down it makes a rather loud clip. So what you need to do in order to get yourself like this corner edge, if you don't have a corner punch, is take something which has got a smallish what's the word, kind of circle on it. Just seeing what I've got. I'm going to use, I've got a pen, I'm going to use this. So I've got my knife here. This has got a relatively small circle, and all I'm going to do is use it as a guide and just butt it up against the edge. So you want to butt it up as far as you can to both of these edges, and then draw. Oop, help if I have. Okay, and then do the same. I mean, of course, you can just do this by cutting if you feel confident without making a mistake. And then you just simply trim this round, trim this round. And what I've done with, so I've done that with this one here. Trimmed it and cut the corners. So you don't actually need to have a corner punch, you can do it yourself. I just think it looks nice to have rounded corners. You can do flats as well. Now the other option you can do, if you want to have the kind of almost whale tail look like this, is to get yourself a round punch. Punch out a couple of holes. Fold them in half. Now, you can actually just use these folded in half, and they look fab as well. They're not really a tab at that point. They're kind of more like a what would I call it? It's more like a page edge decoration. Because they don't stick out, because when you put them onto the page it kind of just sits like this. But it does make quite a nice little decoration, even if you're not. You can cut them in half and you can kind of glue them like this. So you glue one this side and glue the other this side, and then you get this kind of semicircle tab. That's also possible, but and effective. I'm going to show you how to do this anyway. So so far I've cut out my circle and punched a circle out and folded it in half. Now I'm going to use my 123 punch board for this. Now this may not work. I may have used too small a circle here. I might need a bigger, but I'm kind of putting it in around about flat across where this would be. Now you can, if you want to, kind of give yourself a proper guide, is you can pop yourself some cardstock in there and then butt that up against it, and then that will mean this is now in line with the punch, and you get that. And then do it the same again the other side. I think this is going to be too small because on the other one I've used quite a big circle, but we'll see. You end up, this is a bit too, I've gone and cut it. Oh no! See, I make mistakes all the time, so we'll try again. So this time, when I do this, I want it to sit not on the bow guide, I want it to come in from the bow guide. So I'm going to bring it in to here. I'm going to line it up with the first one here and see how that does. We may find it again doesn't work, but it's all about playing. So push this in until it butts up against that card. It's not butting up. Let's put some chunky pieces in. So line it up like that. Pushing this in until it's butt up against those. I'm punching. Aha, that's better. So try this here to the end. There's a bit of playing around. Until it's butt up against that. There we go. So you get almost the whale tail look with this. This is a little bit smaller than one what I've done before, so it's not as pronounced, but it looks pretty good. Now the other thing you can do actually is you can layer them like this, so you end up with two different like patterns, which looks really nice too. So let's do that. I think I'm just gonna ink up that one which I've just cut out, and I'm going to glue it to that one, and then I'll show you what it's going to look like in the book. I haven't decided which ones of these are going to go on which pages yet. That's something I will sort out when I start kind of finalising the orders of my pages. But let's take this and glue this. So again, I apologise if you waited for my video yesterday. If in doubts in the future, if the video is not up kind of by 9 o'clock 9 o'clock GMT, pop on over to my Facebook page. The link is below in the video, and see if I've had another issue trying to get these ready. Videos ready. So there we go. I'm just gonna twist it so it sits about right there. There you go. And then you take your page and you will glue it from point to point. So where this point is here to this point here, over the page, you want to glue both sides. So pop a bit of glue on both sides, and you have a nice little tab. So I've really enjoyed making these, and I've made so many. They're so easy to do. They're just really quick and simple to kind of bang up. They're great for using scraps. So all of these pieces that I've been using today are cut-offs of bits that I've had in my scrapbook, in my scrap file paper area. I've got a huge box of them, and like anything, I tend to find that my scraps, when I use them up, I tend to make more scraps rather than less use them. Because I'm just frugal. I don't want to throw anything away. If I can use it, I will try to keep using things until they're kind of at their end, to the point where, you know, where I'm making these, I'm cutting out teeny tiny flowers out of the bits which go in the bin. Anyway, I've enjoyed making this. Later on today will be the next video. Apologies again for this slightly late video. Yeah, I need to take some photos, so I'll leave those there. I hope you've enjoyed today, or this video, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye now.